Live with me, Kayode Kolade. It's great to be here again. It's another Friday evening. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. How was your week? I hope your week went well. I hope you had a productive week, a profitable week, and a purposeful week. It is Friday evening again, and it's another high performance live session. And I'm so happy to be here. Super, super, super stoked to be here again for another live session with you. This is our first session in the new month. Even though I had wished you happy new month last week, Friday, just one day before we got into the month of June, but I can still say happy new month to you. Welcome to the month of June. Congratulations, just like that, it's already over 5 months. We are into the 6th month of the year 2024 and we're making progress on our journey. Just one moment, let me make sure that I have my live chat, turned on. So that's it. Congratulations. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the month of June. Even though we're already 7 whole days in, just like that. It's just like, where are the days going? It's just yesterday we started the new month and it's already 7 days. Before we know it, it's going to be the end of the month of June, and we're going to be talking about the second half of the year 2024. And that's why you want to make sure, you and I, we want to make sure that we are deliberate, we are conscious, we are intentional about every single day, because just like that, the days are flying, and we want to make sure that we're doing our best to make the most of every single day. This is High Performance Live. Is this your first time being here? Let me start by saying welcome. It's great to have you here. This is High Performance Live, where we talk about the tools, tips, skills, and strategies, everything from the practices, the principles, everything that it takes to be that high performer, that high achiever that God created you and I to be. That's what High Performance Life is all about. That's what I'm all about. That's what this my channel is all about. And so it's so great. If this is your first time being here, it's so great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It's not a mistake that you are coming across this face at this particular point in time. It just simply means that there is something great that is inside of you. There is great potential inside of you. There's a great gift inside of you waiting to find expression. That's why you're coming across this channel at this particular time. And one thing I just want to say is that it's not a mistake. Make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity. First of all, to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And then the second thing is that you want to stay on this live session with me today, because I promise you it's going to be worth your while. Just like I said, it's not a mistake that you are coming across this channel today. It just simply means that there is greatness inside you. There is great potential inside you. There are gifts inside you. There are things that you are loaded with to deliver into the world. And that's why I know that we are coming across each other at this particular point in time. And one thing that I always say is that whatever that we do here on this channel is to make sure that that greatness inside you, that greatness inside me finds full expression, that we become everything that God has created us to be, that we become the best version of ourselves. Hi, Rawat. Hi, Nitish Rawat. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining. Hi, Citron Space. Citron Space, it's great to have you here. Thank you. Welcome. And it's great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just like I said, welcome to High Performance Live. Every Friday like this, I go live right here on my channel. Just bringing in all high achievers from every corner of the world in the online space and saying, welcome. This is home. This is like homecoming, right? Homecoming for all high achievers, homecoming for all high performers, and to say the next 15 to 30 minutes, let's have a conversation. Let's make the most of this time. Let's encourage ourselves. Let's charge ourselves. Oh, Nitish Rawat from India. It's great to have you here. Welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And so that's just what it is. Make sure that you take advantage. Just like I said, hit that subscribe button. because one thing I assure you is that everything that you're going to be getting from this channel is definitely going to be inspiring and going to take your life to a whole new level. And it's just so great to have this community here. Citron Space, yes, I am from Lagos, Nigeria. Doing this all the way from Lagos, right here in Lagos, Nigeria, reaching out to you here. And it's so great to have you, Citron Space. Where are you watching from? Let me know. I really want to know. Trish, great to have you here. Welcome, and thank you for joining. So if you are not new, welcome back. It's also great. France, awesome. So I'm thinking maybe Paris or why has all the French cities flowed out of my head? Forgive me, Citron Space. The only one I can remember that just came to my mind is Paris. Come on. They're all there in the French football clubs. What's wrong with you, Coyote, that you are forgetting? You know how something is floating in your head, but all of a sudden you just go black. That's just what is happening. Let me know specifically what city you are in France, Citron Space. It's great to have you here. Yes, hi, Peter from Denmark. Great to have you here. Welcome and thank you for joining. Nitish Rawat, namaste. Yes. Awesome stuff. So, and that's just what it is. Take full advantage. That's why I'm here right here this evening with you. Just to remind you that I'm your brother in arms. Each and every one of us, we have that desire to be the best version of ourselves. We have that desire to express ourselves creatively, right? We have that desire to, fully utilize our gifts and our talents. We have that desire. You're near Paris. Lovely. Awesome, Citron Space. Thank you so much for the kind words, Citron Space. And so that's just what it is, right? All of us here from Citron Space, Nitish, we're all here, because we want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to do the creative best that we can, with our lives, despite, all the challenges that we go through, right? And so, it's always so good when you have that space, where you have that community where, you can encourage each other, you can charge yourselves on each other, and just, making progress towards those goals that we really want to achieve, because that's just what it is. None of us are perfect. None of us have arrived at that destination that we are seeking to arrive at. Every day we are growing, every day we are learning, every day we are making progress. I stand before you here today not because I'm perfect in any way. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything that it is, to being a successful person. But every day what I do is that I put in the work. I'm deliberate. I do everything, to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep challenging myself. And what better way that even as you go on your own journey, to be able to encourage somebody else, to come along on that journey with you, to be that voice of encouragement, to be that voice of support, to somebody else. For me, I believe that that's just what it is. So, and that's why you've met this community here. Just like I said, it's not a mistake that you're coming across my channel, coming across this space. Then do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps get the channel to more people out there, more high performers like you and me, that want to be the best version of themselves. So very, very quickly, thank you so much for being here. One thing that I'm learning this week, because that's what we always do here in High Performance Life, every time we show up like this, three things: what I'm grateful for, the lesson that I'm learning, and what I'm looking forward to in the upcoming week. So I've already talked about what I'm grateful for, which is the fact that I have this opportunity to be on this live call with you and to have you here with me, Citron Space, Nitish Rawat, Peter from Denmark, the evangelist, is here too. Having all of you here with me, so grateful to have all of you here with me on this live session. And the specific lesson that I'm learning this week is to manifest yourself. Master yourself, manifest your destiny. That's what I'm just going to be talking about very, very quickly, very short, very sharp. I believe that you are going to find this very, very helpful, very, very insightful, on your journey, be it whatever goal that you want to achieve. We have started a new month, the month of June. I know you have specific goals that you want to achieve. You have career goals, you have business goals, you have finance, relationship goals, academic goals that you want to achieve. What is that thing, that I believe that can help us on our journey towards those goals that we want to achieve? Last week, Friday specifically, I shared, because just like I said, this channel is all about, bringing you all those tools that will help you be that high performer that God has created you to be. So last year, I shared specifically that I was listening to a podcast on Spotify called Discover and Release Your Gift to Impact the World. I'll take that again. Discover and Release Your Gift to Impact the World by the late Dr. Miles Monroe on Spotify. If you are just joining me for the first time on this live session, that's what I talked about last week, Friday. And I want to still talk about that podcast again today, because just like I said, bringing you the tools that I know will help us on our journey to grow and to become better version of ourselves. First of all, let me even just ask that, do you listen to podcasts? Let me even start from there. Do you listen to podcasts? If you listen to podcasts, just type yes in the chat below. If you listen to podcasts, just type yes, I listen to podcasts, or no, I don't listen to podcasts. I really want to hear from you. Please just type it quickly right there in the chat. And then do me another favor. Hi, Ruma. Great to have you here all the way from Bangladesh. Great to have you here, Ruma. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Then do me a second favor. Tell me, what's your own favorite podcast that you listen to? What's your own favorite podcast? What's that podcast that you listen to often? It could be a business podcast, it could be a relationship podcast, it could be a podcast on career, productivity, whatever. What's your own favorite podcast? I don't know whether yours is on the Apple iTunes, or if yours is Spotify. Stitcher doesn't exist anymore. So I think the two basic ones, are iTunes and Spotify. So let me know, what's your own favorite podcast. I really want to know. Drop it right there in the chat. So for me, I love podcasts a lot. It's one habit that I guarantee you has changed my life. If there's one habit that has changed my life, is listening to podcasts basically every day. Listening to podcasts basically every day is one habit that I'm so grateful that I cultivated recently, maybe some 3 years now, and that I know that have been very, very consistent. Before, it was kind of on and off. But for the past 3 years, one thing it's been my go-to daily habit. It has absolutely changed my life. And that's why I'm recommending it here. Because you know what you keep hearing over and over and over again definitely is going somewhere into your life. And trust me, just like they say, when the cloud is full, it will have to definitely empty itself eventually. So one thing that you can be sure about is those things that you are listening to on those podcasts, one day they will eventually find outward expression in your life, because they are going right there into your mind, going right there into your heart. The heart of the matter is the matter of the heart, right? The heart of the matter in any aspect of our lives, in whatever goal that you are trying to achieve, that's the matter of the heart. And so what you want is, you want your heart to change. If your heart changes, your life will change. If your mind changes, your mind will change. And that's why it's so important, right? I know that, yes, we're here on YouTube. You're watching me right now. You get to watch a lot of videos and all that. But, I believe there's another thing that happens to you when you listen to podcasts. You are not looking at anything distracting you on the screen. You are kind of tuned inwards and just letting the things, flow into your body, flow into your soul, flow into your mind, flow into your heart. And that's why, I'm highly, 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 highly encouraging you that if it's not a habit that you practice yet, please, make it a habit to listen to something positive. get on Spotify, get on iTunes. Those things are available on your phone. Make it a habit, to listen and to feed your soul, with those positive things that you get from the podcast. And so, having said that, specifically, I'm now talking about, the Dr. Miles Monroe's podcast, Discover and Release Your Gift. Discover and release your gift to impact the world. I talked about it last week. I'm still listening to it again this week because I haven't gotten over it. It's just so powerful. And that's why I'm recommending it to you. As we go into the weekend, this is a great opportunity for you. As we go into the weekend, please make it, try to make out that time, to listen to it. I promise you, it will change your life. It will definitely change your life. And one thing that he talks about specifically last week, I was talking about how, he was talking about the power of habits. And that's just what we're talking about, the power of habits. You and I, we don't determine our future. What we do is that we determine our habits, and our habits determine our future. That's one powerful thing I got from what he said last week. This week, as I'm listening to it over and over again, one lesson that I got from the podcast, that as I was listening to it, is where he said that it's so important that when we talk about discovering and releasing your gift to impact the world, what we're talking about is to manifest yourself. What we're talking about is self-manifestation. Manifest yourself. That's what we're talking about, to manifest yourself. And I'm sure when we say manifest yourself or self-manifestation, you're wondering, what are you talking about? Is this not myself? Everybody can see me now. So why are you talking about self-manifestation again? What we're talking about is that there is another version of you. Apart from this me that I'm seeing right now, apart from this you that is watching this live stream right now, that is waiting to find the expression. I'll say that again. When we talk about self-manifestation, what we're talking about is that there is another you. There is another me beyond this me and this you right now that is still waiting to find the expression. And that's what we're talking about. So the question now to both of us is that what are we doing to manifest that self that is all that we can be, all that we can do, all that we can give, that we are yet to be, do, and give. That's the self that we are talking about. That's the self that we are talking about manifesting. Everything that we can be, do, and give, that we are yet to be, do, and give. It's that self-manifestation that we're talking about. And trust me, it's there. The way he explained it is that it's like a seed. When you take a maize seed, for instance, or you take an apple seed, and you just look at that tiny thing. But interestingly, inside that tiny thing is an apple tree. It's an apple tree that will produce apple fruits with other seeds that will produce multiple seeds. And it's just endless, just from one seed. And so that's what we're talking about, that right now it's like you look at your life, and right now you look at your life and you look like a seed, right? Your life right now is that seed that bears a forest, that bears a tree, that bears hundreds and thousands of trees waiting to find expression. And so what we're talking about here right now is that as high performers, and in that podcast that Miles Monroe was talking about, that I'm highly recommending that you go listen to, is that we need to do everything to make sure that that self that is hidden, that is trapped in this seed that we are right now, finds full expression. That self manifests itself, permit me to put it like that, that higher self eventually manifests itself eventually, that this shell of that seed breaks open for your true self, for your real self to find full expression. And so for me, that's just what it's about. And that's the reason why we always show up here every Friday evening on High Performance Live, because we understand that there is a higher level. There is the next level. So we keep talking to ourselves. That's why we keep doing the work. Trust me, many times, I won't lie to you. I usually, Fridays don't feel like showing up here. I feel like just being with my wife, watching something on Netflix, watching something on Amazon. But we do the work every single Friday. We show up here because we know that as high performance, there is that next level. There is that other self that is trapped in us right now as a seed that is still waiting to find expression. And that's just what it's all about. That's why we're here. Very, very quickly, what are the things that we can do to make sure that this other self finds expression, this our true self finds expression? That's just what it's all about. And one thing I was just thinking about before coming on this live session this evening is just to give you something very, very practical that we need to, that we can use even as we go into the weekend and as we go into the new week, and not just giving so many wonderful and powerful stories, reeling out 5 points that I had memorized just to sound so intelligent, but to just make this thing really, really practical, right? That, okay, what are those things that we can practically do? And this that I'm going to be giving to you now, it's a challenge. It's also a challenge that I'm giving to myself, even as we go into the weekend and as we go into the rest of this month, because we're talking about manifesting ourselves. That's just what it's all about. We're talking about manifesting ourselves. I was listening to another podcast that was last weekend / beginning of this week, and the podcast is by Ed Miles, another person I love so much. I love listening to his podcast. That's your assignment. Don't worry, I'm not trying to bog you down with so many things, but just go check out those podcasts. Miles Monroe's podcast, Ed Miles' podcast, beautiful podcasts that I know will definitely change your life. And the particular episode I was listening to was where he was talking about 15 things that he would like to say to his younger self. 15 things that he would like to say to his younger self that's his younger self in his 20s. Now that he's a 50-year-old. And for me, it's just so powerful. The things that he was talking about. And I will just mention basically 3-4 things that he said that I believe that will help us very well, because what he's talking about too is manifesting himself. That, look, these are the ways that we need to start thinking. These are the ways that we need to start thinking if we are going to manifest this self that is trapped in the seed that we are. Hi, Anshuman Pandey. Yeah. Yes. Pandey. Yes. Pandey, please remind me. Are you the one that, when we had the last conversation, that mentioned that you live in Ilupeju, that you once lived, in Ilupeju in Nigeria? If you're the one, please just remind me. But it's great to have you here, Pandey. I think you were the one that told me you once stayed in Ilupeju in Lagos, Nigeria here. It's great to have you here. So very, very quickly, what did Ed Miles say? 15 things. I'm not going to give you 15 things. Trust me, that's going to be too much. Just few points that just to wrap this up, because I promised this was going to be short and sharp. Even as we go into the weekend, that we need to start thinking through, as we talk about manifesting ourselves, because that's what he was talking about. That, okay, what will he say to his younger self? I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you are in your 20s. I don't know if you are a teenager, if you are in your 20s, 30s, or even if you are in your 40s, or even if you are in your 50s. What we're talking about is that the future is in you. The future is in me. How do we release that future that is trapped inside us? That's what he was talking about. Those are the insights that he was sharing. And I remember one of the things that he talked about was that if he had the opportunity. Oh, you're okay. The live session once. Okay, awesome. Great to have you back. Will I call you a returning alumni of High Performance Live? Pandey, it's great to have you here again. It's been a while. Please make sure that it doesn't stay this long again before I see you again. So it's great to have you here again, Pandey, on this live session. Welcome. And so, that's just what we're talking about, that how do we release that future that is trapped inside us? And that's what Ed Miles was talking about. And one thing that he mentioned is that if he had the opportunity One thing that he would say his younger self is to learn about money, to learn about money. And that's just the truth. The truth about it is that going to school, getting a job, going to school, finishing with a good grade and getting a good job is not learning about money, because that's what our parents taught most of us. But that's not learning about money. That's just giving a shortcut to make the most of your life. But at the end of the day, you discover that you do that, but you know absolutely nothing about money, how money works. And so that's just one thing that he said, that one thing that he would tell his younger self is to learn, to be deliberate about learning about money, to be deliberate about learning about money. And why I'm saying this is because you and I have another opportunity now going forward. Yes, the past is done and gone, but now we have another opportunity to determine how our next year is going to be, how the next 5 years is going to be, how the next 10 years is going to be, how the next 20 years is going to be. Please, if there's anything that you and I need to do, is to be deliberate about learning about money, to be deliberate about learning. Forget about the fact that you have ideas running in your head about money. No. Let us be deliberate to get the proper information, get the necessary books, which is what I'm going to end with, to school and learn this thing called money, to school ourselves in this thing called money. Very, very important. And one thing way that we do that is that we need to dedicate money, and we need to dedicate time and attention to it. So what you are talking about is that even if it is 5 to 10 minutes every day, that's always my suggestion. That's where you should start from. So forget about the fact that you want to start waiting till one weekend when you have all the time in the world to start learning about money. No. Start looking for how to make it a deliberate practice. 5 to 10 minutes every day. Can you point to that thing that you have learned about money? Just 5 minutes every day. Whether you are getting an email newsletter, whether it's a podcast, whether it's anything or a book, you are deliberately learning something about money. The second thing, very quickly, because my time is fast spent, the second thing that he talked about is that one thing that he would say to his younger self is to learn about communication, to learn how to communicate, It's so, for me, it's just so powerful that, we have always imagined that, communication is for people that want to be public speakers, who want to be motivational speakers, or people who are going to sell. I was having this conversation with my wife a few days ago, and we're talking about we're just having this conversation, and somehow the talk about temperaments came in, the talk about personality tests and all that came in, and I said, that one thing that I wish I had known several years ago is that, when it comes to these things called temperament and personality tests, I wish I had known that whatever it's not as if learning about your temperaments or learning about your personality or taking a personality test there's anything wrong with it. Please do. If you've not taken any personality test, please do take a personality test. What is important that I think that we need to remember is that whatever it is that you think or that is your personality now, you need to realize that it is not set in stone. That is one thing that I wish I realized for a very long time. Yeah, thank you so much for the kind words, Pandey. Thank you so much. We are just doing the best that we can together, Pandey, and I appreciate you so much for being here and for sharing those kind words. Thank you so much. And so that's just what it is, just like what Pandey is talking about here, that every day we are growing, every day we are learning. So many times you discover something about your personality, but it's not set in stone. Many times it's as a result of things that we have gone through our life experiences. Ultimately, what it means is that whatever that we have gone through in life, we can still change, we can still grow, we can still learn, we can still evolve. So the reason why I mention this is because for some of us, when we learned about personalities, and we say, me, I'm melancholy, I'm usually reserved. My strong points is not selling. It's for the people who are the sanguine. Hi, please forgive me. It's kind of hard to pronounce your name, please. Srinanda. Yes, Srinanda. I think I got that right. Hi, Srinanda. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining. So, while every other person, you say, okay, no, the people who are outgoing, the sanguine people, are the people who should, be doing things about selling and should learn how to communicate. But then you realize, yes, I hope I got it right. Srinanda. Please, I hope I got it right. I'm just trying my best. Great to have you here, Srinanda. And so, until you realize that everybody, whether you are outgoing or whether you are reserved, you are going to have to communicate to people. Oh, awesome. I'm happy I got it. I'm happy I got it. Welcome, Srinanda. Welcome, Srinanda. It's great to have you here. And so that's just what it is, that you and I, we are both going to have to learn how to communicate, no matter the profession you think you are doing. Even if you think that you're welcome, even if you think, okay, you won't have to directly interface with people, because some of us were doing certain jobs where, okay, maybe it's about packaging a product, so you are not directly interfacing with customers. But guess what? You are interfacing with your internal customers. You are going to be interfacing with your colleagues. You are going to be interfacing with your supervisors. You are going to be interfacing with the people that you lead. And so it's so important that many of these things, we need to learn it. My time is fast spent. I think I will only be able to stop in these two things. And I think it's enough. We'll continue next week, Friday. But these two things, that, just like I said, if we are going to master ourselves and manifest our destiny, manifest our true self, release our full potential. See, and I'm talking to myself too as I'm talking to you, please. So don't think that I'm standing from one high place trying to beat you over the head. No, that's not it. We are both talking to ourselves. Number one, let's start learning deliberately about money. Number two, let's start learning how to communicate. Those two things. Learn about money, learn how to communicate. Learn about money, learn how to communicate. It's just so important that, we begin to take this thing seriously. If before, we're just being casual and just say, you know what, no, I will just wing it through life. Please, there is nothing like winging it. Winging it is not a plan. Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a plan. We need to be deliberate. What plan are you going to put in place to start deliberately learning about money and to start deliberately learning how to communicate? It doesn't matter that, okay, right now you're only listening to me. I'm the person on the live stream talking, and you're like, no, I'm never going to have to do anything, be on a live stream talking to many people. You never can tell. You never can tell where you are going to have to get to and address a group of people. You never can tell. I was reading something earlier this week, and it's by somebody I love so much, and his name is Brendan Burchard, and he says, see, keep being the best version of yourself. Keep doing the very best that you can do. Very soon you will soon be called on to serve. And that's just the thing. The time when the call will come, it will not announce, it will not give you long notice. It will not give you long notice that, you know what, okay, this is the time for you to come. We're giving you 2 weeks notice to go and prepare. It might just come at the spur of the moment. The opportunity might just come at the spur of the moment, and then you now have to express yourself to tens of people, to hundreds of people, to maybe even thousands of people. That's not the time that you are going to be getting prepared. The time to get prepared is now. The time to get prepared is now. And so for me, it's just so important. Thank you so much for being here. Be talking like for a while. Just thank you. Thank you so much. I just felt to just pour out my heart to you like this. And one thing that I know is that everything that God has ordained us to be, that full manifestation of ourselves, I know that we are coming into it in this particular season. Thank you so much, Srinanda. I don't know whether you're still on the call. Thank you so much for being here. My brother, Pandey, Anshuman Pandey. Thank you so much for being here, for showing up again. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yes, we're going into the weekend. Look out for all the great stuff coming out from me. Is it coming out or coming from me? Coming from me over the course of the weekend, even as we go into the new week. Brand new long form video coming out on Sunday. It's going to be about persistence. Going to be very, very powerful. Please do me a favor, share that video with somebody. Share the link with somebody. I know that it would definitely bless them. Yes, Pandey, yes, every Friday like this, next week Friday, I'm definitely going to be here again between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. West African time. I know it's kind of late over there in India right now, so I really appreciate you, Pandey, for making out the time, even though it's so late. I know that I think it's already maybe almost 1 a.m. over there in India, if I'm not mistaken now. I think it's almost 1 a.m. into the new day, so that you are here and with me. I appreciate you so much, Pandey, for being here. Thank you so much. And every other person for being here, thank you. You guys are the real MVPs. God bless you, and God continue to keep your hands lifted. Well done. And so that's just what it is. Please, the video that is coming out on Sunday, that will definitely be coming out around this time between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. West African time. Please do me a favor, like the video. It helps get the video out to more people. So please help me like the video. Please also help me share the video with somebody. It's just a short video, 6 minutes on persistence. Help me share that video with somebody. I know that it will bless them, and I will also be so grateful for you doing that. Thank you so much. Once again, let me sign off very quickly. You're welcome, Pandey. You're welcome. Let me sign off quickly. Yes, bye, Pandey, for now. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you very soon within the course of the week. Your greatness is very sure.